Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Weight Loss. And today, it doesn't sound exciting. Today, we're talking about processed foods.
I think
Hello,
it's
Alicia.
I think it's a great topic.
I know, but we're kind of nerdy about these things.
We
I
are
mean,
nerdy.
you are way more nerdier than I am.
Way nerdier than you are for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, let's talk about sex. But processed foods. Let's go. Let's dig right into it. Processed foods is this fun thing though on the internet right now where like they're battling it out.
Mm.
How about we just like let them do their thing? I'm just like letting the people battle it out because I don't even want to like have this conversation sometimes with the people on the internet.
I mean, they try and drag us into it.
I know. And they're like making mean TikToks about what we promote. And I'm like, oh my God. And we're not biting. Man, we're good at not biting, huh?
It's true. We say
It's
nothing.
true. Because we don't like drama.
We do not like drama. We are not drama people. Drama makes our stomachs feel yucky.
Icky.
We don't like it.
We're like, and also like, I don't know you. I don't have to explain anything to you. You know what I mean? Like the people know. The right people will know what we're saying.
Okay, so before we get really into it, I'm curious, what do you define as processed food?
Oh, I'm put on the spot because I feel like I know way less than you. But you know what? There must be other humans like me out there.
Exactly. I'm curious as to what processed food is to you.
Okay, so to me, processed food is stuff in packages.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. That's annoying. So things that are packaged. Hopefully this is not extra loud, huh?
No, I can barely hear it.
Okay, good. Okay, carry on.
Yeah.
Okay, so stuff that is in packaged foods or packaged foods, yeah. Stuff that has really high. Okay, I'm gonna say what I define it as being high in salt because it's like packaged.
So would you consider a loaf of bread processed food?
I would not actually.
Okay.
In my mind, I it's not
Okay.
processed food, bread.
Okay. Would you consider a smoothie like that you buy at the grocery store? Like you can get all those brands of like smoothie drinks. Is that a processed food item?
I would have not labeled it as a processed food item in my brain. No.
Okay.
I like don't even know what I would like. I'm guessing all the snacks that I would buy my kids would be processed foods.
I mean, they're all processed foods. Like
Okay.
the bread, I mean, especially like Wonder Bread, that like bread that you buy that was baked in the grocery store is processed food and it's made from flour, which is processed. So I think it's important that we realize that processed food is not just one thing, it's actually a spectrum. Like it's a range. Like there's, some foods are very processed, basically stripped of everything that they actually were and added in so many extra stuff. And some are minimally processed.
Okay, so for me, an extra processed food would be Cheese Whiz.
Exactly. But do you know what? Would you consider a cheese slice processed food?
Yes, I would.
No,
Like
okay, wait. I need to define this. Not one that comes in plastic like that. I
okay,
mean, like
just like a really like a real cheese one.
correct.
I would still say yes because it's in a packaged.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
then how else? But then how else do I eat cheese if it doesn't come from a package?
you go to the farm. But honestly, though, like honestly, as soon as you put in a package, there's often ingredients put to preserve whatever you're purchasing for longer. But that's a good example of like a slice of cheese that's actually like real cheese versus a jar of Cheese Whiz. They're both processed food items, but obviously one is processed a lot more than the other.
Okay, I see what you're saying about the spectrum. I like that. Okay, I
So
see.
I just think
I see it in my brain.
it's important that we don't just say processed food. Processed food is bad. That's basically everything that most people eat. So,
Yeah.
the rotisserie chicken you get at the grocery store is processed food versus the chicken nuggets that you buy in the freezer aisle and put them in the oven.
Right.
They're both processed food, but just on a different spectrum.
Okay. I think people are learning. I'm absolutely learning. I think you're going to take the lead in this podcast.
I think so too. So it's important for me that when we look at food, that we look at it as a spectrum and that we don't label it, that we just recognize and just also say to yourself, is limiting processed food important to me? Like, do I value that?
Okay, can you educate? And if you can't, if you're like, no, I don't have enough like data on this, I can't. But can you educate me and the other listeners on like what are the consequences of consuming very processed food?
Great. The highest processed food is just nutrient deficient. As soon as we start processing these food items, they're being stripped of their nutrients. And our bodies were made to eat food, real food. So sometimes our body, these man-made ingredients, our bodies aren't really digesting it. They're not really recognizing what it is. Also, highly processed food is highly palatable. So, like those chips you were talking about the other day for Jeff, he had a hard time putting those down because a food scientist is working in a lab to create an experience for his mouth that is so good that he cannot stop. His pleasure thing in his brain is going crazy because it's sweet, salty, crispy, all the things.
Yeah.
So for me, it's those kind of three things that it's stripped of nutrients. Your body could struggle to digest it.
Okay.
Um, and that it is hard to control your portion when you're eating something that someone has worked very hard to make almost too delicious for you.
So, what are the consequences to my health? Does that make sense to me? Do you understand what I mean? Is it like
Okay.
that's the part to me that maybe if I understood more the effects of it to my health, maybe that would allow me to be more to care more.
Okay.
And
So
not that I consume a lot of processed foods, but I certainly do, like you and me and everyone listening, everyone, Jeff
absolutely.
and my neighbor. But like if I knew more of like this is quote unquote bad because it's processed. Okay, tell me how that has consequences on my health.
I mean, so if you're not getting enough nutrients, basically your hormones that are in charge of running your body are run off nutrients.
Okay.
So if you're not giving your body enough nutrients, those hormones are going to not be where you need them to be.
Okay. And
Um,
okay. Oh, next question. All right.
things
I'm
like your
really into this.
Also, things like your skin, things like
Okay.
you have you ever looked at someone that is like, I don't want to label someone as healthy, but okay, I feel like, and I'm inspired by these people. They're like women who are like kind of hippy dippy. They eat you can tell they eat a ton of like real whole food and like they're just glowing. They're probably not wearing makeup. Their skin is beautiful. Their hair is beautiful. They are just naturally a beautiful human being. You can like literally see it from the outside in. They're giving their body tons and tons and tons of nutrients.
Okay.
What was the other
Hmm.
question?
How to know that your body's so if you're like, how would one just know that they're lacking nutrients? How would their body tell them that? Is that just it, like your skin? But then you could just have bad skin and it has nothing to do with that, or it could.
I mean,
You get what I mean?
everyone is
Everyone's
so
so
different.
different,
And
right?
and there's no like this is like everyone has a different tolerance for what they can and can't take. Like I
Right.
think the only way to really figure this out is to be in tune with your own body and what you're putting in it and how you feel when you put that in your body. Taking some time to read some ingredients and realize, wow, I felt like crap after that. I wonder if it was the sugar alcohol. Like you can
Right.
get your hormones tested. I don't know enough about I don't know. I don't know enough about that. Like we could say, okay, you're lacking this nutrient. They can do testing to see like which nutrients you're deficient in, like iron and vitamin D. So you could get your bloods done and then they could tell you to eat a little bit more of this and a little bit more of that, see how you feel. This is why also often a multivitamin is really important for people who don't have a lot of variety in their diet because
Okay.
when you're eating foods that are different colors, that's giving you different nutrients, right? So if you have a picky eater or a kid or someone who
No, I should
doesn't
be on vitamins.
maybe.
Maybe.
So that's what I got for you.
Okay, I like it. So basically it depends on like the person, how they feel and whatever. So there's nothing like there's no look to it or like it's not like there's nothing, not that it's not bad, but your body could start lacking nutrients.
Absolutely. And I mean and then that can lead to all sorts of other things. I also genuinely believe that if you take two people who have some kind of health concern and one person is fueling their body for the most part with good nutrient dense food, they are for sure on the upper hand to fight whatever disease they've been diagnosed with, right? So it's kind of
Okay,
like,
yes.
you know,
I see what you're saying. Yes. Okay,
yeah.
okay. This so all interesting. The thing is that we obviously there's that piece of just being educated and like kind of like being in tune with what kind of food you eat and having that balance. So I think talking about that balance is what is your weight loss more. Like it's about balancing. So when we quote unquote promote an M&M protein bar, it's not because we think it's the best thing in the world and that it has all the nutrients that a human body could need, you guys. It's because there's also the piece that society has missed about portion control as well, and obesity and fat around your organs. So you're all worried about the M&M bar, yet you're not worried about it being 100 pounds overweight and having that fat around your organs. It's like very odd to me, that world. Can we speak above that?
There's, guys, if you are carrying a significant amount of extra fat around your body, it is not healthy for your joints, for your organs. So there, as much as obviously a M&M protein bar isn't the best, obviously that is a very processed food item, 100%. However, if a food item like that can help someone achieve their goals and remove a significant amount of fat off their body, that has value.
Absolutely.
And we need to meet people where they are. Like, we need to meet people where they are. We cannot look at people who eat fast food 5 times a week, legit only cook from things out of a box in their freezer, and expect them to move to a 100% whole based. I think that is the most ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
And we are setting people up for failure. Gradually, I would hope that someone would join Your Way Weight Loss and they would start to make those slow changes. And I would hope that gradually, naturally, they will end up on the spectrum of mostly whole foods, just
Yeah.
naturally, not because we told them they should, we should, or they should, because that's where they just end up.
Yeah, I agree. And there's this there was this post way back on the doctor we follow that's really into like calorie deficit, and he's like really kind of in your face about it, and I like it. We'll let him be the in your face kind of person. We're not the in your face kind of people, but
And then I'll just share what
yeah, we'll just share it, and it makes us feel good. But he did say that he said like one of his clients had lost 20 pounds, and all of his like everything about diabetes and everything had gone, like his numbers were really a lot better, and he went from regular soda to diet soda, and the client lost 20 pounds just by making that small change, and obviously got a bad rep because now he's putting chemicals in his body. And he was like, you guys need to meet people where they're at. He's not going to go from drinking 2 liters of real pop to water. What do you think this is, Lo? And I thought, oh, that's such like, I love that sentence. You need to meet people where they're at, because the 20 pounds off of his body, that was success. That aligned with him being quote unquote healthier, because now he's no longer diabetic, and losing 20 pounds on his organs has value. And maybe after he drinks Diet Pop, he's going to work on half Diet Pop, half water. Give this person time, people. Like,
Absolutely.
my gosh.
It really fires me up and I don't throw this word around often, but I will throw it around that it is dangerous to guilt and shame people for their choices. And there was someone that commented on our TikTok with a creamer that was outright rude. It was shaming a person for consuming something that is a highly processed food item that I'm very aware is a highly processed food item. But what about the person who has 3 creams in their coffee right now, and they drink 3 of those? Maybe they're consuming 1,000 calories in creamer a day. And if that creamer can help them consume less and then get fat off their bodies and get them feeling better, getting them to a point where they have more energy, do not tell me that is bad.
I think, yeah, no, absolutely. I think they've like replaced like processed foods with excess fat. So what I mean by is that like we've like really like it's like we like put the conversation aside of like how quote unquote bad it is to have excess fat on your body. And that we've like put it like it's worse to drink Diet Pepsi than to have, excess fat on your body. Like, so tons of people have made studies on this, and they've like experimented things. Like the professor that created a deficit eating Twinkies.
Yeah,
So Twinkies are very highly processed.
for sure.
And so he, for 2 months, ate Twinkies. Like that was his diet. And he took, it wasn't about only weight loss. It was about his all of his numbers, cholesterol, blah, blah, blah. Like he was obviously like followed by a doctor. And after his 60 days of eating Twinkies, lost 27 pounds. Okay. Because he created a deficit at the same time. He made sure he was in a deficit so he can prove that you can lose weight eating Twinkies. But he wanted to show that at the same time, his overall health actually improved, like his numbers for cholesterol, whatever, because the 27 pounds lost has value. And so he obviously is like, I don't want to eat Twinkies the rest of my life. This is not the point, but you guys also need to realize that there is value behind fat loss.
Absolutely. And that's such an extreme example. Like most people are not eating only Twinkies. You know what I mean? So we need to remember that people aren't eating just processed food or just whole food. Like it's somewhere in between. What I think where people sometimes give us flack and they just don't know us well enough is they think that we're looking for the lowest calorie option for people and not all the time and not valuing anything else, and that it could not be further from the truth. But it's not just about, I am sorry, but we are more complicated, and it is not, the choice just isn't about what's the best choice. It's about what's the best choice for you. What aligns with your goals, your values, your happiness, how your body feels when you eat it. Like no one is in charge of that but you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, when someone like goes and says, you shouldn't eat coffee, drink coffee creamer, that's them pushing their values on you.
Absolutely.
Of what is valid for them or what's valuable for them. And so according to who? To you? Okay, well, you then don't drink creamer. I want creamer. So according to my values, miss on the internet, I am very fine with drinking creamer, So I think that there's that piece as well, that it's just what we say is that it's okay to just be you. We're not saying it's not okay to not drink creamer or it's okay to drink creamer. Just be you and don't let someone else say that's not healthy, because no one else gets to choose what's healthy other than you. Okay, as we're talking about processed foods and non-processed foods, my Brussels sprouts are in the oven. So I'm going to leave you for a little second, Leash, so you can take on whatever next topic. And I'm just going to make sure they're not on fire. Okay.
Look at her cooking her Brussels sprouts. And that's part of what gets me. I'm sure that you guys are listening to this and you can tell that I am getting fired up because, for a few reasons. One, because I have personally been attacked on the internet for some of my choices. But also that people might say something to Jose about her M&M protein bar, but they don't see the mound of Brussels sprouts that she just ate. Do you know what I mean? That's what also gets me fired up, is that you see one choice that one person is making, and that does not define them. Like, how many food items do we eat in the run of 7 days?
Yeah, absolutely. And also like you're being so disrespectful. You don't know what my budget is. You don't know, so maybe I want to buy processed food because I can have more because this is the budget that I have for my family and my children. Like there's also it's just disrespectful. Like you don't know these people. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know, like for me, it's like, ooh, like let's stop saying that.
And imagine a person who had a very small budget to work with, okay? And that the society is pushing on them that the only way to lose weight is to eat like whole food, like buy all these fancy, expensive. Yeah, absolutely. And so they feel defeated right from the start. Whereas actually they could lose weight with what they're eating. They just need to eat less of it.
Exactly.
So it just really takes the power out of people. And I think of one of our members who's lost over 100 pounds, and she values processed food. It is important that is a part of her way. And I love actually that she can show us how she does it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what she eats today is quote unquote healthier than carrying 100 pounds of fat around her organs, you guys.
100%.
Because she does eat salads as well. Right. She
Yep.
loves my Jose salad. But you know what? Like, I just feel like there's that place where we're putting ourselves on the internet, guys, and we know it. And we do get attacked sometimes by like that 15-second TikTok. Like, TikTok is next level sometimes. But like at the end of the day, if you are interested in what we really have to say, I mean, all our followers, and especially the ones that have been listening for 21 minutes, they know what we do, and they know why we make a TikTok about the M&M bars. It's to just give options to people, all types of people. Some people are like, that's way too expensive, like legit money wise,
Yeah.
they can't afford that bar. And I'm like, okay, cool. Then that next alternative or next food item that we can chat about that might work for you, and it could be an apple. Next item is an apple. You know what I mean? Like, that's not processed. And it's this amount of calories. Do you want an apple? Can you afford apples? Like, there's so many conversations that we could have about every food item. Is that what we're going to do? No, like, they exist. Like, we're just talking about different types of foods that we love that align with our happiness as well.
We just want people to create a better relationship with food and being afraid and just being aware of what you are eating. Is it really processed? And not being afraid to choose something because it's bad.
Nothing is bad. It is not bad, you guys. Okay. And when it doesn't mean that we eat all the things no, there are things that I rarely consume. Maybe I haven't consumed it in years, but it's because I'm like, oh, that's really not part of like what I like. It doesn't fit in my world, right? Like, there are certain clothes items that I don't buy because they just I don't like this sweater, so you can not like I don't like wings. Like, I'm just thinking of something I haven't eaten in forever, like a wing, and some people go out of their way to eat honey garlic wings, why would I not eat wings? Well, I don't really have access to them. And when they're there, I'm like, I know how calorie dense they are, and they're just not worth those calories. But give me a brownie right beside it, and I'll go right to it. So I think that it's just, but I'm not like wings are bad. No, wings are just not what I value. Like, I just don't like them, and they're a lot and whatever. Like, I just like they're not worth it to me. Anyways, so don't let anyone decide if what you're consuming is bad. You're the boss of that.
Yes, absolutely. Own those choices, show the people in your life, because people comment when you're trying to eat healthy. Oh, you can eat that on your diet, or, oh, you shouldn't be eating that, or stand up for yourself, tell them how you feel, why you eat it. Bye. Thank you.
We certainly do have some work to do on that end, you guys. So if you can start with your little environment, that's how we get to the next step. I do feel like society needs to shut up. Like, I do think they need to stop commenting, and they need to stop telling you what it should look like for you or what you should be eating. Ooh.
We need to stop commenting on what people are or are not eating. And we also need to stop commenting on what people's bodies look like.
Okay, perfect.
Too thin, too big, too many calories, not enough calories. Stop commenting on
should lose weight, should gain weight.
No.
Stop talking
right now.
No, that was a good one, you guys. And like we started the podcast with learning, and then it was just about full control, empowerment. You can eat processed food. It is very much part of 2021, you guys. Processed food is a part of 2021. So let's just like coexist with it. Let's balance it. Let's make sure that we feel good about our own choices. And that is the message that is about processed foods.
I love it.
Perfect. Okay, you guys. So share this podcast. I feel like people will feel like really good about this. So share this podcast, take a picture and be like, this is about processed food. I love this conversation. Like our podcast or follow us, whatever. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, but we have over 100,000 downloads.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
We love giving out 2 episodes a week, you guys, and we will keep doing that as long as you guys keep listening. Find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram under Your Weight Loss, or join us at yourweightRsupport.com. Become a member, love our content, listen to us, and you will obviously add value to your life. Bye, guys.
Bye.